Namaste friends, and I hope that you're doing well. It's been a long time since I have agreed to do conjunctions. I know many of you have asked me when I'll be doing conjunctions. So for those who are new to Vedic Astrology, conjunctions are means of looking at a chart to see if more than one graha or planet is residing in a particular house or a sign. For example, if you have Jupiter and Saturn in the fourth house, so what are the effects of that? So if you have that, not necessarily two grahas, some you have three, some you have four. So depending on that, there are certain ways of interpreting it. So it's going to be it's going to be a very long series. I hope I would cover, but maybe about 20-30 videos. I'm very sure I don't think I can cover all of it, just like the yogas, but I'll try to cover at least 20 videos. So you can look at your chart and find out if you have such conjunction and how you can either take advantage of the situation or rather the effect, or you can stay away from it. Okay. First thing is you must have your chart in front of you. Okay, whether you're a newbie or a person who's doing it for a living, or someone who has strong knowledge in Vedic astrology, it really doesn't matter. You must have a correct birth time and your chart in front of you. Okay, your birth time has to be accurate. I do service in birth time rectification. If you're interested, you can check on the link in the description box. Where it says consultations. Birth time must be rectified. Okay, time of birth given in the hospital or wherever you are born is arbitrarily taken. Okay, you would not know what level of time skew that it has been going on or been done to record your time of birth. So it is always best to rectify it and set it accurately, which is why sometimes when I do consultations, I notice that my readings and the person is totally off. Okay, which is why I always suggest that birth time rectification must be done. It's very strongly recommended. If you're serious about Vedic astrology or any astrology for that matter, your time has to be rectified. Now the second most important thing which I wanted to explain is the results of the conjunctions. Okay, the results or the effects of the conjunctions may not be applied to your chart. Okay, and I keep saying this again and again, and many friends out there, they're asking why isn't it work for my chart? I mean, why don't I see everything that I'm saying affecting on my chart? For some, it works perfectly well. So the answer is very simple. Okay, obviously I would not know the status of your grahas if you have anything that I should be looking at. I'm just saying from the point of view that these are the results if you have a good state, and these are the results if you have a bad state or the dignities. Okay, I can only give you two different or two polarities of answers. I cannot give you one that fits everybody. Okay, so having said that, if you were to have, for example, in this video, the Sun and Mars conjunction in the first house, you have to check a few things. Okay, to see whether the good effects will be applied to you or the bad effects, or pretty much both. There are average results as well. You need to check many things. Okay. You need to check if there's Marana Karakasthana. You need to check the Drishtis. Drishtis itself will take maybe about 10 to 15 minutes of only checking Drishtis for one house. Right? It's not easy. You have the Rashi Drishti, you have the Graha Drishti, you have the Argalas, you have the Virodha Argalas. There's just so many things. Right? Second thing is if there's any curse, then maybe if you have any bad yogas or any good yogas which is affecting to the first house, like that, it's endless. I mean, there's so many things that we need to check. Okay, so once again, in summary, there's two things that I want to say. The first thing is you must have your birth time rectified if you have not. Second thing is you have to check your own dignities, or the many influences in that particular house, from its planetary strengths to its drishtis to its curse in yogas, and marana karakasthana. This is just so many things, only upon which you can somewhat associate a little bit of what I'm going to say. Okay, so if you have this conjunction, you have Sun and Mars in the first house, you will have a very you're brought up, okay, will be very that learning, that it will be very steep, because your father would somewhat be a person of critical towards you, always telling you that you should do more, always pushing you to the edge. Discipline is just a simple word here, okay. He'd be very sometimes even harsh towards you, so your growth, your childhood days may not be as fun as your neighbors, for example. So you'll be maturing very fast, and that creates a lot of advantage as well. It sounds not so good, but then again, that environment that you'll be raised will create that maturity within you. Okay, so early life, all right? The first house represents the early life. Second thing is, when I notice this within my clients and all that, is that they have that rebellious personality. Okay, it doesn't matter when you're young, you're old. It really doesn't matter where you are at this point of time, what age you are at this point of time. You always want to make sure that what you say is correct. You stand correct in any circumstances, right? You don't want to lose. You want to make sure that what you say is correct. Anyone counters that, there's going to be some problems, okay? Argument, that argumentative qualities within you is very, very strong and very effortless, because remember, all this resides in the first house. The first house personifies who you are, okay? So this is one of the most prominent qualities that I've noticed. It's also seen that that people who have this configuration, they sort of ruin their own life by their own self actions. In some people's life, you need an external factor to ruin one's life. But people who have Sun and Mars in the first house, from my experience, I've seen that they sort of throw sand on their own head. So this creates that the thought that these people are hasty in their decisions. These people are not the really the one who thinks deep and dwells and ponders and makes the right call. No, they feel that if that's the thing they need to do, they need to do. Although they make the mistakes, the good quality is that say they did something wrong and they screw up their business or something, out of their own hastiness, out of their false pride, they correct it by doing it multiple times, but they never ever say sorry about it. They would not admit that it was a mistake. That sort of personality, yes, it's bad that they don't ponder over things. They just do things as it comes. But the good thing is that they would not admit it, and they keep correcting it, correcting. One day they will perfect it. That kind of personality is also seen. A lot of jealous is also seen. They're very jealous people. Jealousy can be an ally because it can improve one's life. But remember, it's always a thin line. Okay, it's if you use it positively, then it will have positive reaction. And I need not to say the negative part. I mean, it's going to bring down one's life. These people also have the tendency of dominating others. Always trying to be authoritative, finding faults among others. Even within the public circle. Remember, the first house is all about the public sphere. Always how you are seen, or rather, how do you behave outside is seen in the first house. Even when you're young and all that, you'll be always putting blame on others. That's something that is always seen again and again when I do my charts. Sun and Mars people have a very good quality, is that they take care of their health. Their health comes number one. They maintain. They're very cautious about what they consume. Most of them, I don't see them as smokers or drinkers. Some they do, but then on their first, after their first sadhe, I notice a pattern. They turn to get rid of this. They turn very health conscious. That's something that I also notice. This Sun Mars in the first house also, the personality are go-getters, right? They want something, they go and get it. There's no two ways about it, regardless of issues that will be popping out. So if you have a boss who has Sun and Mars in the first house, all right, and if you have very much the moon qualities, okay, very emotional, very considerate, very much the slow-paced, the more thinker personality, it's not going to work. You're going to have a hard time with your boss. When vice versa also, right? Now, and of course that goes same not only for boss, but even if the family members, say if your father is like that, or your brother, or your mom, or your sister, or your husband or your wife, it doesn't matter, whoever it is, going around, trying to be around these people, trying to be friends with these people can be taxing, can be a lot of pressure. I mean, you need to compromise a lot. You need to sacrifice in order for you to maintain the relationship with people having this configuration or conjunction. I've also noticed over the years that these people are antisocial. It's not that they're totally antisocial. They are like, they just can't see things that people are doing. Let's say in a social environment. Let's talk about Facebook. All right. I can tell you, these people in Facebook, they can be easily, you can easily find people who have Sun and Mars in the first house using the social medias like Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and all that. These people, they are always who talks back. They are always who actually condemns the other. Right? They just cannot accept other people's ideas, other people's concept, other people's views. They think that those views are very subtle, or they are not so practical and all that. They keep criticizing others, and needless to say, that creates a lot of lack of humility within these people. Okay, they pretty much boastful personality. On the bright side, the Sun and Mars in the first house, what I've seen is they are pretty much the engineer type. They love inventions. They love inventing, regardless of it being a housewife or nowadays as a house husband and all that. It doesn't matter whether you are at home or you are working. You are always trying to innovate things. Not like creating rockets or robots. That's not what I meant. What I meant was trying to automate things. If you do something twice, okay, the same thing twice, and you do that on a frequent basis, then you'll come to a sense that, okay, I'm doing this thing repetitively every day. How can I automate this? I mean, what can I do to automate this? That's what I call as inventors and inventions. They are, not to say lazy, but they don't like to put extra effort in it. Okay, they're hardworking, they're laborers, but then they don't want to waste time doing the same thing again and again. They'll try to automate things. What else? Sun and Mars also shows that these people they reach great heights in their career in a very young time, in a very short span of time, because that quality of go-getter quality. Okay. As far as medically, these people get a lot of blood pressures, things which related to stress, all right, mental related issues, nervous system, anything to do with blood related diseases are seen to having this configuration. Some people have eye problems, like keratoconus or some kind of eye related issues also seen. For that matter, any sun, if the sun is really strong, then or sun is debilitated, then again there will be some kind of eye related issues as well as seen. Okay, so that's about the Sun and Mars in the first house. I'll continue more on the conjunctions and hope you like this. Hope it has been educational. Remember, this doesn't directly apply to you. You need to check your charts. You need to make sure that the planets strengths, the planet's aspects, or drishtis, the planet's state itself, whether it's in your own house, whether it's an enemy's house, what sort of relationship that they have, is there any curse on it or not, is there any particular yoga which is formed. There's so many things that you need to consider before applying whatever effect that I've just mentioned. Okay friends, so thank you, namaste, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Till the next time, thank you.